I'm talking with Hina. So she's starting the webinar. Okay. So shall we start, Kalpan?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So you are coming on camera? Okay, done. So Hina, I think we can start. Okay, 1, 2, 3, start. Good afternoon, everyone, and a very warm welcome to all of you. Myself, Shikha, and I am in Industry Partnerships team in Future Skills Prime. So just want to give you a background of what NASSCOM does. So we are the industry body. We represent ITS sectors in India, and we collaborate with different OEMs to onboard their courses on our FSP, Future Skills Prime. So Datamatics is one of such partnership where we have collaborated on RPA technology, where we have their 2 courses onboarded with us. And today we'll talk about those 2 courses. So the basic idea is to promote the digital skilling across the country. So before I begin more deep dive into the courses, I would like to highlight you more about Datamatics, what they do. So also we have team joined us from Datamatics. We have Kalpan, who is the technical architect. And then we have Rityunjay Singh, who is heading the product. So let us begin with the, what Datamatics and what they do. Datamatics is a global technology, consulting and digital solutions company specializing in data analytics and automation. They provide a range of services including RPA, artificial intelligence, machine learning, BPM, and data management solutions. With a focus on industries such as majorly into finance, banking, insurance, healthcare, manufacturing, and logistics. So basically, they aim to empower businesses with innovative technologies to drive efficiency, productivity, and growth. So I'm sharing my screen with all of you. Hope my screen is visible, Kalpan.
Yes, visible.
Okay, thank you so much. All right. So we have our today's topic, which is future trends in RPA, innovations and emerging technology for career success. As we all know that RPA is one of the booming technologies nowadays. So the agenda of today's session would be TrueBot courses overview and the benefits. As I mentioned that with RPA, we have 2 courses from Datamatics. We'll talk about complete overview of these courses along with their benefits. Features and key learning outcomes from these courses, career and job roles in RPA, applications, latest trends, and the use cases. Moving on, we have the TrueBot RPA courses by Datamatics. So, recognizing the in-demand technologies, as we know that I just mentioned that, RPA is one of the most demanding technology, most sought after technology. And that is why to bridge the demand supply gap, we partnered with Datamatics to reskill the future workforce. Also, we have 2 courses on RPA with us from Datamatics. One is TrueBot Designer and the other one is TrueBot Cockpit. So majorly into RPA, these 2 virtual courses, basically they aim students, and they also are, these courses are also not only for the, the students, but also for the working professionals who wish to carve a niche in RPA domain to become an expert in RPA. Then let's talk about some of the objectives and learning outcomes. So basically, all these 2 courses are not only the theoretical, but also they equip learners with the necessary technical skills, tools proficiency, and problem-solving abilities. Meaning they have, at the end of the courses, you'll see that some case studies there where the learner can really, work on it. So then we have, they also empower learners with hands-on experience and exposure of real-world cases, making digital skilling and upskilling new age technologies. So not only, apart from the theoretical knowledge, we have the hands-on experience plus the real-world case studies for us. Then the third one, we have what we get, we complete a course, what we get at the end of it. We have the course completion certificate, plus we also have the NASCOM certification, which is a government certification, wherein you can leverage this opportunity in the case of RPA. Now, I would like to invite Kalpan Waghela, who is from Datamatics and technical architect. Kalpan, would you like to say hello to all of the audience which are here?
Yeah, hi everyone. Good afternoon. I'm Kalpan Waghela. My role is technical architect at Datamatics with over 15 years of experience in IT. I specialize in designing and delivering enterprise software using Microsoft Cloud, DevOps, AI technology, RPA, intelligent automation, and so on and so forth. And yes, the booming technology you all know as of now is generative AI as well. So we are in practice in generative AI as well. So yeah, we can start, and you can see this. You can these are my contact details. Anyone would like to be in touch with me, definitely they can email me or get in touch with me on the LinkedIn.
So, Kalpan, I'm stop sharing my screen here so that you can take it forward.
Sure, yeah. Can you confirm whether my screen is visible
Yes.
to everyone?
Yes, Kalpan.
Sure. So as Sika mentions, data matrix into multiple verticals, and specifically we are talking about the product side of it, where we develop intelligent automation solution or platform, which consists of multiple combination of products. So in the slide, you can see there are a couple of products, which the first one is the robotic process automation, which is TrueBot. And this is for the today's focus on this particular part, we are going to focus today. Along with that, we have intelligent document processing, which is an application or a platform where it leverages to extract data from various type of documents like invoice, PO, resume, and etc. and so on and so forth. So structured, unstructured data. And at the end, the business intelligence, which is BI tool, through BI, which help us to envision the data into a different formats, charts, the dashboards and everything for the MIS purposes. And all of these products are being powered with True AI, which is the AI engine, uh, infusing into all of these three products. So we'll focus primarily on the TrueBot part now. So moving to the next slide. So we'll start with what RPA is as a technology. So robotic process automation is a technology that uses software robots or bots that uses software robots or bots to automate repetitive rule-based tasks typically performed by humans. This takes often involve interacting with digital systems, software, application in a way similar to a human would do. So let me elaborate it further with an example, right? So to visualize it, let's take an example like imagine you have a bot that can log into your email, read your specific emails and messages and download the attachment into a particular folder. While if the same task it needs to be done by a human, has to do it repetitively in nature, mundane in nature, and ideally there is no value added to it, right? So basically it will perform this task whenever required, freeing up you to from doing it manually every single time. This is what RPA is, right? Why RPA? Because RPA can work 24 by 7. It's a bot, it's a software, and it can be used by multiple companies and platform, right? It does not ask for any leave, right? As human being, we need leaves and we get sick and all these things, right? We need break and all, but RPA bots can be work 24 by 7. And apart from that, what are the potential candidates which are good for RPA automation? So there should be a manual nature, right? Should be high in a volume. It should be rule based and a repetitive one. So we'll deep dive into it into the next slides. So what are the key benefits of a RPA solution? Just a moment. So as we can see, it can save the cost, right? Since RPA reduces the workload, team staff, you need number of less people to do the same task which the human being is doing. It can relocate toward their own different priorities and require human input, right? And to lead the increase in the productivity and ROI. So that's why it is a cost saving basically. It will improvise the customer experience, right? So since bots and chatbots can work round the clock, they can reduce wait time for customers and leading to higher rates customer satisfaction. Hence, the customers delighted with the services. Time to value. The RPA platform works on the existing systems, like the way the already softwares are there with the company. It will work on top of it. You don't need to develop another software layer on top of it. That's why the time to value is very high. Faster ROI. You can get the return on investment very fast using RPA. It will help you to bring you your digital journey, digital transformation. Right nowadays, we know it in every banks and every uh, platform in India and everywhere, everything is digital. You don't need to fill up the physical forms. So you need to fill up the online forms or PDF or in a digital format. So everyone is moving to digital transformation, and the RP helps in a long way. It can also automate the mundane tasks, as we mentioned, repetitive tasks, which is done by the user, which can be automated. And it also works with the legacy integration. It means it can work with legacy system. For example, many of you may not know the mainframe application, right? Where it's an decade or couple of decades old technology, but still the RPA can still work with those kind of applications and make the automation out of it. So these are the couple of benefits of implementing an RPA solution by the companies to leverage this kind of potential benefit out of it. Let's take some of the use cases right now. So what are the gains when the RPA has been implemented? So we'll take a couple of them. For example, let us take the first one, which is the largest one of the largest private banking in India, right? So the process is opening an account using a tab-based process, right? So earlier, before implementing the RPA, they were able to open only 3,000 account a day, right? Now with implementation of automation and intelligent automation, the number has been increased to 15,000 accounts a day, which is 5x increase in the productivity or the number of work or tasks can be done in a day. Right? Similarly, these are the options. Like for example, a construction company in Middle East, right? So payment processing. So the account opening was 16 and earlier was 4 and now it is 16. Right? So it is again a 4x improvement in the using the automation. So on and so forth. This kind of leverages or the companies or the client or the industry is benefiting using RP. This means it's not a very specific to an industry. RP is very generic in nature. It can be applied to any industry because in every industry, employees work and deal with a lot of softwares and applications, right? And wherever software application being used, the automation can be implemented. So the scope is huge, be it in any industry. So let's focus it to again to TrueBot, right? So we have discussed from the beginning. So this course is focused on TrueBot. So TrueBot is an RPA software or platform from Datamatics, right, which enables all of the things we have spoken so far, right? So I'm not going to detail. Let's move to the next one. So when TrueBot come to the picture, so as Sika mentioned earlier, there are two different modules we have, TrueBot Designer and TrueBot Cockpit. Let's discuss it in little bit in detail so that you understand what these two modules means to you, right? So maybe in this forum there might be some background from various aspects, like maybe someone from computer science, IT engineering, some other engineering, or some of you may be a working professional as well, right? So I hope you can all relate to programming. So you, whenever you wanted to do any programming, right, you need to write some code. Maybe it could be Python, C Sharp, JavaScript, right? For that, you need to have an IDE, That means integrated development environment, right? Where you write your code, you compile it, and then you can deploy it or develop as per the need. Similar way, Robot Designer is the platform, a tool where you can design your automation processes. Right? The RPA developer is going to design automation process using this design. Right? So it here you can test it, debug it, and publish the bot once it's been done for the automation to run on different machines. Right? This course is about the end-to-end understanding and practical use of the robot designer. The course is about 4 hours 20 minutes and it's free of course. There is no charge for it. Right? The other part is robot cockpit. Now, again, going back to the same example. For example, you have built or developed a website for a customer or client, right? Then once it is developed, you need to deploy it to a server, right, where you can host it and it can be used by the consumer or the clients. Similar way, Robot Cockpit is a web-based application, right, which enables you to manage, create, schedule, govern, right, security, the user control, and everything of an RPA bot from this particular platform. That means you can completely manage your automation program, right? Center of Excellence (COE) program using this robot cockpit. This is a centralized way of managing bots because when the developer develop a bot, right, it will be done on a particular machine, maybe your laptop or your workstation, right? Then it has to be deployed to a central location, and from there it will be deployed to different machines and it's going to execute and do the automation part of it. And this course is about 2 hours and 20 minutes, right? So in combination, it has almost 7 hours of course. Why should you do these robot courses and what are the silent features, right? So as we have already discussed, this is short in duration. The duration is around only 7 hours, right? Couple like for example, you can relate it with two movies or a series, right? So this much time you can spend and you can learn this course, right? With this course, you'll be able to not only learn about what RP is, but you can understand and you can create your own base. You can start your RPA journey using it by creating some basic processes or bots, right? It's a practical based module. So every module has been displayed and discussed and demonstrated in a way so that it can be useful for the end user to develop the. Yes, on top of it, it's a free of cost and it's an online module. So you can do it at your pace, right? Whenever you get a free time or your dedicated time for learning, which I believe all of you must have it, you can leverage this kind of time to utilize learning new skills. And on top of it, it is government affiliated certification. So yes, definitely will be a value added for your professional career as well. So what are the benefits for the learners, right? So Gartner is one of the topmost analysts in the industry for the software. So let me take you an example. What analyst does it mean, right? For example, if you wanted to buy some appliances or a phone, right? You'll not directly go and buy a phone. You might be do some research, right? You will ask your friends, right? You may go to a blog and you read about it, right? But what if there are so many websites in the market where you can go and really compare this and it will give you a total detail about your software or a phone, what all features are there, you can compare it and everything, as it will allow you to take the decisions which mobile you should buy, which appliance you should buy, right? Similar way, Gartner does the same thing. In every category of software, they do this analysis. They have benchmarking and criteria to finalize the uh, software provider into their list. And the top 500 Fortune companies will always go by this recommendation. They will not go directly to the vendor. They will first go to this kind of analysis, and then what whosoever is listed into this kind of analysis report, right? They will be going to purchase and they are going to evaluate themselves. So this Gartner says the worldwide RP software spending is going to reach about 7.1 billion in 20 by 2025. That means the amount of money spent by these companies, right, or the market share of this revenue and the spending, right, if it is going to increase, that it means it will create a lot of demand to develop the bots and processes and automation as well. Right. So these are the couple of benefits which will be learning or getting it out of it. Right? As we know, it's a you can start your amazing opportunity to getting an RPA developer. We'll talk about roles as well down the line. Right. It has been recognized by FSP. Right. That means this skill is required to be sustainable into the near future in India and IT. These are the some of the mandatory skill you need to learn about it. It's offered free of cost and it's self-paced, right? It is online, so you can learn it anytime, anywhere, as per your pace. So this is why you should be taking this course and why you should be preparing your journey towards RP. So let's talk about different career opportunities in RPA, right? So you can see there are a couple of which is listed, but there could be many more as well. So let's talk the very basic and the fundamental one, the RPA developer, right? We have heard about Java developer, we have heard about Python developer, we have heard about C Sharp developer, we have heard about mean stack developer, right? Similar way, this is a kind of a profile where you are going to develop the processes based on the client requirement and the need using tools like robot automation or any other platform available in the market. Right? So for that, what kind of basic skill or top skills you will need? A little bit background of some logical programming because this kind of tools are always a low code, no code platform. That means you don't need to write everything as a script. You can drag and drop the features you need and you can build your automation workflow out of it. Right. And you need to understand the process analysis because RPA is always about process automation and not about only programming. Right. So you have to understand, like for example, if in a company, right, I take example of okay, all of us have must have visit to a doctor, right? So when you go to the doctor very first time, right, you need to get a registration. They will register you. They will take your details, and they will maintain a database of your visits and the medicines given by you and so on and so forth. Right? So this is a process. Now, every time you go, you are going to follow the same process. Which means you have to understand what the business process is about. Right? So these are the core skills you need to develop or master on it. The second part is uh, the solution architect for the RPA. For this, you need to understand the architecture of different system and platforms as well as integration because here the RPA tool is going to interact with a lot of applications like ERP application, SAP. It can interact with a lot of desktop application, be it Java, C Sharp, or any other application. It's going to interact with the web application, be it a different browser. Right? It can work with Chrome, Edge, Safari, Firefox, and so on and so forth. So that you have to understanding the different applications stacks well and how to integrate with it. Right? So being a solution architect. The third one is RPA project manager. As for any other software industry role, there is also project manager as well because any project you'll pick it up has to be managed, right? And so basically you need skills of project management and team leadership. And the third one is, fourth one is the RPA business analyst, right? So in this case also, because water automation is required, right? So there has to be a thorough study of the processes. You have to understand what the process is about, what is has a business impact, how critical it is, how repetitive it is it really a frequently one, the volume is very high and all, and analytical skills of how to implement it. So basically, this role will create a requirement gathering or a process design document which will be consumed by the RPA developer to develop the process. So this is the primary skill required for RPA business analyst. And on top of it, if you are at a high level of position in a company, a manager or senior level position, then you can be a RPA COE. COE means Center of Excellence. So if any company wants us to implement such kind of program, right, they will build a team of such versatile profiles where the COE administrator will manage the end-to-end execution. He's going to manage the developer, the solution architect, the project manager, and the business analyst. So this comes at the top. Right? So this all becomes an entire ecosystem and opportunities within the RPA realm. So let's now little bit deep dive into uh, what robot is about. What are the fundamental features of it? So every RPA software, as I mentioned, should be just a moment. Sorry. Okay, so it's a okay. This platform is AI enabled, as we know, and we'll see how later in the slides and the demo as well, right? This platform is enterprise the security enable and governance, because when you're going to implement it for customer or client, right, it should be because it's going to deal with your application, and this application could be critical. Take for example for a banking site, right, where the bot is going to do the transaction or some verification of transaction for the customer, right? So then this requires a very high level security and governance being part of the platform itself, where you can govern and you can manage the security aspect as well, right? There are two kind of automations, right? As we know, this could be attendant and attendant. Attendant means it's going to be a companion for the end user. For example, I am a business user of the application, right? I want I want to decide, okay, whenever I want to run the automate, I'll go and run it as per my convenience. So it basically allow the user to trigger the automation whenever needed. While on the opposite side, what is the unattended automation is? It means these are some mundane tasks can be done in a remote machine without any user intervention, and it can run 24 by 7. Right? So these are unattended automation, which is scheduled basically. So for example, uh, in the night 2 a.m. I wanted to run certain kind of a background task. So the bot is going to be triggered at 2 a.m. every day in the morning or early morning, and it's going to perform the task and it will complete it. So this is unattended uh, automation. What is purpose built for multi-user personas? So as we mentioned, this is a low-code, no-code platform, right? Any user, whether you are coming from a technical background, a functional background, right? So we call it a RPA developer versus citizens developer. Even if you are coming from different backgrounds, like from accounts, from different teams, without any technical skill, you can still learn easily these tools, and then you can build your own automations as well. Flexible deployments, that means it can be deployed on your premises, on your servers. It can be deployed in cloud, and it is a cloud native as well. So let's little bit cover certain part of the two modules we spoke about: the robot designer and the robot cockpit. So I'll highlight some of them. Right? So robot designer is basically a visual workflow, right? It's a low code no code platform, as I mentioned earlier, where you can drag and drop the connectors in the canvas, right? And can also integrate with the IDP, which I spoke about as a part of the intelligent automation solution, right? Where it can send the document for the extraction, and whenever it comes back, it can key the values inside the downstream applications. We'll see the demo of same. There is an inbuilt ROI calculator within it. That means, for example, if I mentioned about a process, right, about making, right, now a person can do, for example, in a day, 100 registrations, right? That means there is a X amount of time and money required to perform these operations. And at the same time, if you deploy a bot, it can do maybe 1,000 or 2,000 automation processes for registration part. So this means you're going to reap the investment on your investment, return on your investment, right? A much higher 2x, 4x, 5x. And also it has a preventive health check. Basically, if the machine is available or not, the server is healthy or not, the bot is running well or not, is there any other issue, if the connectivity is there or not. That means it will make sure Your systems are healthy enough to run the bot. In short, coming back to the cockpit, as I mentioned, cockpit is a web-based application, right? So it will support this many features and functionalities, right? Where you can manage the users, you can create, modify, and all. You can manage the bot, right? You can create a bot, you can deploy the bot, you can run the bot, and all this thing. Bot station, right? Where the bot is going to be deployed and going to run it. You can schedule the jobs of bots, right? For example, as I mentioned, if some automation needs to be done at 2 a.m. in the morning, then definitely you need to schedule it as per your need. It has a credential manager because these applications are critical in nature, could be very, very secure enough so that all this kind of credential which will be used by the bot are stored in a secure vault, which is encrypted at the latest industry trend and at par with the industry standard. It is a complete audit log and logging what a user does, what the bot does. It is going to track each and every activity of the bot in the user. It also send the alerts and notification, right? Because if the bot is failing or is going to run the bot, if the job is failed or the bot is failed, it's going to notify you based on the notification. It can send you no email notification. It can send you WhatsApp. It can send you SMS as well. Security compliance is basically, so as I mentioned, it is compliant with data privacy, GDPR. The data which has been used is stored securely on the disk and while in the motion. It has also web APIs. Basically, it has an API which can be consumed to integrate with the third party as well. Now, let's move to the latest trend in the RPA. So far, what we have discussed about or spoke about, it's about the legacy RPA. That means it's going to automate the rule-based task, which is predefined. Right now, the latest trend is lying inside the. These are the three different terms we can use or call is intelligent automation, right? So basically, it's a combination of RPA with AI, artificial intelligence. So in order for RPA tools in the marketplace to remain competitive, right, then they will need to move beyond task automation, right, as I mentioned, and expand their offering to include intelligent automation. This type of automation expands on RPA functionality by incorporating sub-disciplines of artificial intelligence like machine learning, natural language processing, or slash generative AI or computer visions. Right? So intelligent process automation demands more than just a simple rule-based systems for RPA. You can think of RPA as doing tasks, while AI and ML encompasses more of the thinking and the learning respectively. It trains algorithms using data so that software can perform tasks in a quicker and more efficiency level. Similarly, cognitive RPA or hyperautomation. These are the some of the terminology which is being interchangeably used, but it does mean similar way, right? So these are the latest trends in the RPA. Enhancing RPA capabilities with emerging technologies. So how it's going to enhance the RPA capability, right? So AI in RPA. So now, as I mentioned, the rule based. Now, if AI is being infused in the RPA, it can take the decisions and adaptability. It does not need a human intervention or a fixed set of rules. For example, let's take an example of purchasing an item in a company. For example, I am an employee of company X and I wanted to purchase a pen, right? So whenever I wanted to purchase, I need to fill up a form. Now, if the item is below 100 rupees, right, my manager can approve it. If the item is above 100 rupees, my manager's manager has to approve it before I get the item to me. Right? Now, in this case, this is a fixed rule. Right now, what if we have infused an AI because tomorrow this rule can change? Right? I'll say, okay, even if the item is of 10% plus and minus of 90 rupees or 110, it should allow, right? Or maybe my manager is on leave, XYZ. So basically, you can generate a model using AI, and you can infuse within RPA. So it will not be a rule-based automation system, but it will consume the model or AI, take this kind of decisions. And generative AI and RP for better handling of unstructured data and improve the user interactions. Right. So as we know, generative AI is purely a text-based interaction in a natural language, your preferred language in English primarily. Right. It can also understand the unstructured data. For example, I mentioned about emails. Right. Emails are unstructured data. It does not have a fixed format. It could be anything in the email. It could be image, text, a file attachment, and so on and so forth. Right. So this kind of technology is going to augment the automation as well. Now, one more thing, like uh, robotic process automation is often mistaken for artificial intelligence, but these are two distinct different things. AI combines cognitive automation, machine learning, and natural language processing, reasoning, and all this thing. Right? The difference between the RPA and AI is basically AI is data driven and RPA is process driven. Right? RPA also enables AI insights to be actions on more quick instead of waiting on manual implementation. Basically, that's why I meant. Right? So the RPA can take the decisions based on the learning so far, and it will take the decision using the ML because now the bot knows, okay, my manager approves every time if there is a 20% variation in the price. So the RPA or the AI knows, and next time it's going to approve it without waiting for the manager, so that it is reducing the time and leveraging the automation without human intervention. So let's focus more now on the intelligent automation use cases, right? So we have taken three use case demos. Yes, we'll see live exactly what can be done. So first is invoice processing automation, right? So let me share my screen one more time using the video. Just allow me a moment. So this use case I mentioned, it's about invoice processing automation. Let's understand what the process is about, right? Okay, let's understand from left to right. So invoice processing can be applicable to any industry, right? Take for example, a company is doing a business, right? Then definitely they are going to deal with multiple vendors for procuring a lot of things. It could be a pencil, it could be a chair, it could be food items, or it could be anything based on the nature of the business, right? And once they purchase it, the vendor is going to send the invoices to the company, right? So as we mentioned, the invoices can come into multiple forms. It can come from email, FTP, it could be coming from portals, and so on and so forth. So basically, these are the source of invoices which the bot is going to read from the sources as an automation part of it, right? And then it's going to send these invoices for data extraction. Right? As I mentioned earlier, the data managed TrueCap is the IDP, intelligent data document processing. So it understands the document, it's an invoice. It will fetch the key information like invoice number, the amount, the invoice date, the vendor name, and etc. etc. And once the data is being gathered, extracted from it, again the bot will pick up those output and it's going to insert the invoice detail into the downstream application, which is nothing but ERP system. In this demo, it will be a Salesforce application. Right? This is what the use case is about. And now this is a combination of intelligent automation because it's not pure RPA. It is consuming IDP as a feature inside the automation, and it's an end-to-end because here the human intervention is not required, but it's a minimal requirement like taking the invoice from the mailbox and booking the invoice into the downstream application. Right? It's an end-to-end process. It will only have exceptions in terms of for example, some business use case or validation is required, and only the human intervention is required. Then the screen will pop up to the end user. They will make some correction, and then the rest of the things will be carry on for that part. So let's see the video, and I'll explain it in between. So this is the Gmail box where the invoices from the vendor has been kept, and there are three different invoices attached to the email. Right now, what the bot will do, because it's a background thread, it's running in the background. You will not see bot screen, but it will mimic the user. If you are a user working on the same scenario, right? For example, you are working in an account department, right? So what will you do? You will keep on scanning your mailbox. You will download these invoices to a particular folder. You will open it, and you will open invoice side by side the application where you want to make the entry of the data entry, basically filling the form in a ERP application, right? So this is what human will do. Same way, bot will do the same thing. It will open the mailbox, download it. We can see there are three different invoices of different type. This is the first invoice. This is the second invoice. Now, what we are seeing is the interface of the cockpit. We spoke about two-bot cockpit, right? A web-based application where you can manage your entire RPA program or you can manage the execution of the bot. So as a user, I'm logged in to the cockpit and I'm going to run the bot. So on there is a hit, you can see the progress of the bot. It has launched the bot. And you can see the progress of the bot as well, how much percent it is complete. Now we can see the invoices are being downloaded from the email box to a particular folder, right? And I mentioned there may be a scenario where human has to intervene into this automation. So in this case, let's take this in detail. The price for this particular item is should be in decimal, but it is coming as a 16 space 184. And that's why it is giving a validation error that this amount should be in a numeric format, right? It cannot be a space. The user will correct it and it will move on. So out of the three invoices, only one invoice came for the human validation part. The user goes and makes some changes. It will make, okay, he understand, okay, because he's seeing the invoices, make the amount as 16.184, put the comment, accepted, move on. And you can see now this data has been extracted using IDP through CAP and is being for the demo purpose. We are writing into an Excel file where you can see, okay, each and every line item, the detail of the invoice is extracted into a particular format. First, we will gather all the information from all the three invoices files, and then it's going to log in to the end application, which is Salesforce in this case, and it will go and start writing this information and creating the invoices the way human will do or a person will do. And you can see so on and so forth. It can run this kind of automation on a daily basis, 24/7, 365 days, without taking any leaves and all. So this is a one of the use case for the intelligent automation. And now you can relate what intelligent automation means. It's not pure RPA rule based, but it also involves a lot of more applications and end-to-end scenarios. Now let's move to the another example. me share my screen entirely for this time. Asika, I hope my screen is visible. Yeah.
Yes, Kalpan, it is.
Okay. So this is a email classification automation. Let me elaborate it first. So as we see in the previous use case, right, where the invoice is coming and it's using the IDP tool to extract the information and inserting into the downstream application, right? In this scenario, this is using another piece of AI, right? So what it's here is here consider there is a bank is implemented this RPA automation. Now customer is sending different emails for different purposes, right? Now without the automation, what will happen? The email come to the mailbox of the user or the support team of the bank, right? It will understand what is the content of the email ticket. It will classify basically, okay, it's a service request, it's a cancellation part. If the customer wants to know his account balance, right? Customer want to cancel the card, and so on and so forth. There could be n number of scenarios or type of the request. Now, in this case, the RPA is dealing or using the AI in the automation itself. So it will read the email, it will understand or classify the email based on the text using true AI, as I mentioned in the earlier slide. And then it's going to create different set of tickets into the downstream application. So let's see it in action. Here, as I know, I'm going to the bot cockpit, run my automation. These are the three emails came into me. I would like to know about the status of my UPI transaction, so on and so forth. I have not received the confirmation message. So this kind of email will keep on flowing at the bank side. So now bot is downloading each and every emails, classifying it and extracting relevant information out of it. And then this is the portal where it will create the tickets. So the bot has been started. Email has been downloaded, classified, and then you can see it is going to create different type of transaction and tickets into the CRM portal. So this entire thing is automated using RPA plus AI. This is nothing but you can call it as a cognitive or hyper automation, where AI is infused within the RPA automation. And this is the trending feature nowadays because only RPA is not going to work. It has to be consuming the AI, generative AI, or machine learning features within the RPA as well. Now, let us move to the last demo and the most important part. As we know, we are right now into the generative AI era, right? And this is impacting be it any industry, and that's why RPA as well, right? So, so far, I hope you must have used ChatGPT for your different purposes, right? Maybe it could be helping you for studies, for understanding something, right? It can help solve your problem. It can help you with programming. It can help you to analyze things, and so on and so forth, right? Similar way, this kind of features are being implemented into various products like TrueBot, right? Which is nothing but what we call is as a co-pilot. What does it mean? The co-pilot is a tool which helps the main user or the pilot, right? As we know, right? In every aircraft, there are two pilots. One is pilot, is a primary, and there is a co-pilot, and there is an auto mode, right? So the main pilot is responsible for everything, but they can instruct the co-pilot to do the actions on behalf of them, so that they can leverage the benefit of delegation the task and get it done quicker and multiple things at the same time. Right? So similar way, the next trend in the not only in RPA but in also in the software industry, the coming is the co-pilot era, right? Where you can talk to the system, not using this kind of interface. You need to log in, you click the button and all this thing. And you simply ask your need or query into natural language, right? And the task should be getting done. So in this use case, what we are going to demonstrate is the capability of Copilot is So far, if you wanted to create an automation flow, yeah, as I mentioned, it's a low code, no code platform. You need to drag and drop the relevant tools onto your canvas and you have to build it by on your own, right? Now, the co-pilot can does a lot more thing than the manual part, right? What it does, let me explain it first and then I'll run the video as well, right? So for example, you need to read an Excel file and send an email to each and every contact detail there in the Excel file, right? So you'll simply write your need. Okay, create me a workflow which reads the Excel file and send an email to each and every person mentioned inside the Excel file. So it will generate you automation workflow using your natural language. This is the way forward for every software. This is the trend. So let me run that video for you now so you can understand what I'm speaking about. So this particular video is about how to create automation workflow using TruePilot. It is a uh, synonym for Copilot inside the TrueBot platform. So as you can see, the screen visible in front of you is the TrueBot designer, the IDE for development of the automation processes. Now, when you are logged in and landed to this page, right? This is the interface of the Copilot, where it is similar kind of chat GPT, right? You need to write your need into plain English language and it will generate you automation workflow out of it. Now, as I mentioned, the user is going to input their prompt, right? Or a query in a natural language. In this case, the user wants to read email from an inbox folder, right? Save the attachment and send it for TrueCap for fetching the data, right? The user has entered his prompt into the space allocated. Now the beauty is this feature is basically when you send it, so it understands what kind of feature you're expecting and what kind of, in the left hand side you can see the toolbox, right, where there are 600 plus inbuilt components available for you to leverage the automation part. Like for example, you wanted to do the automation for CSV, email, FTP, G Suite, Microsoft 365, right, Microsoft PowerPoint, Excel, Word, so on and so forth with PDF and all, and a lot of enterprise grade applications as well, right? So you need to basically drag and drop and you need to write it. But in this case, as I mentioned, I just in the right hand you can see the user has defined a prompt and it has generated a preview. Okay. So for that, you need to, it is mentioned that I need to read an Excel file. So it has taken the component or connector for the Excel. It is going to read the config file. It is going to connect to the Exchange to get the emails. And for every email, it's going to perform, download these attachments, and then it's going to send it to TrueCap. Right? So it's a preview for the end user. And once the user reviews the preview generated for him, if it is visible to the developer, it's going to create a workflow out of it. So once the user accepts the preview, it's going to create the entire flow for you. And you just need to fill up the required information to make the run the automation part. So this is this is how you leverage the generative AI in the natural language into the RPA, and this is the way forward, and this is the future of the RPA platform as well. Now let's move back to the slides. So here we have covered three different scenarios so that you can understand what kind of automation can be done, what it actually means, how it works, and how you can make benefit out of automation, not only automation, but intelligent automation using AI, ML, and generative AI. Uh, this is what I wanted to cover in terms of robot courses, what robot is, what intelligent automation, and what is are the trending features and the way forward for the RPA work. And now Shikha will take over for this part. Shikha, over to you. Thank you everyone for being part of this session. I hope you have learned and keep learning. Happy learning. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kalpan. Thank you so very much for this detailed, insightful session. Let me share my screen with all of you. Okay. So first of all, about these two courses, I got one of the question from Jyoti that, how we can enroll ourselves into these two courses. So these two courses are first of all free to everyone. These two courses are self-paced courses, very short duration courses. Cockpit is 2.20 hours and designer is 4.20 hours. You can complete these two free courses as per your convenience. And, it's not necessary to complete courses in a one go. As per your convenience, as per your time limit, you can consume these courses. Okay. So this is the kind of a certification which you will get at the end of the course completion. Like suppose the name is Atul Kumar, who has participated in the TrueBot designer. So this person has completed the course TrueBot designer and got the certificate. So this is the participation certificate, a joint participation certificate from NASCOM Future Skills Prime and Datamatics. Okay. So similarly, for Cockpit, again, we have this kind of certificate. So even if you want to enroll for both the courses, you will get the joint certification from Datamatics and NASCOM Future Skills Prime. That too in your email box, you will get the certificates. Then we have the assessment part of it. So like, you have completed the course, but what next? How can you actually judge your knowledge on these two courses? So we have the assessment by NASCOM. So here you need to pay 600 rupees. Although the courses are free, but the assessment is not free, it is paid. So 600 rupees is the amount for the assessment. So if you see, this is the kind of a certificate which will be given to the candidate or the person who will go for the final assessment of it. Here you can see we have the logos from MeitY, Ministry of Information Technology and Electronics. So this is the government logo. Okay. And then we have the logo from the IT, ITS, NASCOM and Future Skills Prime. So, when you have this kind of assessment attached to your resume, so it itself has a weightage to it. Your resume has a weight. Okay. So I would recommend all of you to, go for the assessment. Before the assessment, go for the course completion so that you have your knowledge checked in the form of the assessment. So, in Olympics, we have the three categories. We have gold, silver, and bronze. Similarly, in assessment, we have these three categories. So anyone who will secure 70% or more than that will be eligible for this gold certificate. So here, if you see, the candidate name will appear. TrueBot Cockpit or TrueBot Designer would be the course name. And then all the candidate details will be mentioned here, your certification ID, date of issuance, and the NSQ level it has, maximum, minimum, percentage marks. Everything will be there. So this is how we have the gold certificate look like. Similarly, anyone who will secure between 60 to 69% in this assessment will be eligible for the silver certificate. So this is how the certificate will look like. Then we have the bronze certificate. 50 to 59% whosoever will secure will be eligible for the bronze certificate. Now, this is the assessment which is paid. You need to pay 600 rupees. And my recommendation to all of you would be, see, there's a process, okay? You complete to bot designer, to bot cockpit, you complete these two courses. Then we have the mock assessment also. So basically, mock assessment is just like your sample papers, right? So you get a sense of, how your final examination would be based on. So my recommendation to all of you is, once you complete both the courses or any of the course, go for the mock assessment. And mock assessment eligibility is just once. So you can only go for the mock assessment once. Even if you fail, even if you pass, you still have the chance to go for the final assessment. But the chance for attempting the mock assessment is just one. Okay. Now the mock assessment is done. Either of the cases you pass or fail. Ultimately, you'll be moved on to the final assessment. Now, final assessment is based on your marks. Equal to 70% or more will fetch you gold. Similarly, 60 to 69 will fetch you silver, and the bronze will be 50 to 59%. Anyone who will secure below 50 is a fail in this case. Though, if you want to reattempt or you want to go for the assessment again, then in that case, also you need to pay 600 rupees again. Okay, so this is the certification part of it. So on completing the courses, which are free courses, self-paced courses, short duration courses, on completion, you will get the joint certification from NASSCOM, from Datamatics. And after certification, you can go for the mock. Mock assessment is completely optional. You want to skip it, you can directly go to final assessment. Final assessment is 600 rupees. Okay. Now you can take a picture of this particular slide. Now this has the course links. The first one is the course link that will directly take you to the Future Skills Prime platform, wherein if you have enrolled yourself into Future Skills Prime platform, then you have to simply sign in, and if you're not, then you have to sign up yourself first, and these links will take you to the courses. Then the second one is the assessment link. Okay, so this is the course completion course link, and this is the assessment link. Similarly, for TrueBot Cockpit, this is the course link, the first one, and the second one is the assessment link. Anyhow, we'll share the recordings with you. So in case you want to click a picture, you can do it. Okay. So thank you so much. Now we'll take some of the questions. So Kalpan, we have a question from, just a second. Let me. Okay, so Kalpan, we have question from. We have question from Sanjana. So she is asking, will there be RPA courses released for IDP and BI module?
So right now on the FSP, the TrueBot courses are only the available courses. But if you are interested, we have our own data metrics LMS module, online module, where you can register yourself and you can get learn about IDP as well. That's the way forward to learn about IDP as well.
So she has further asked that she has worked in RPA field for 6 years now, worked on top RPA tool automating typical legacy projects. How can she transform career further with intelligence and cognitive automation? Please suggest a learning path.
Sure. So as I mentioned, the future is with the intelligent automation, right, or the hyper automation, where you need to use AI as well. So you have to understand about this technology at the ground level. Like for example, if you are going to work with generative AI, right, so you need to understand how it works, how can you leverage within your process, being it a decision making thing, or being it for any other kind of assistant or some kind of content generation or taking some decision. Basically those kind of things you have to learn this technology in parallel, then you have to imply within your automation processes, and you have to learn both the thing. But yeah, On top of it, you have to ensure that whatever tool you are using, be it TrueBot or any other RPA tool, this tool should be enabled to augment or consume this kind of within the product or tool itself, right? To make sure this kind of availability is there in the product itself. As I mentioned or showcase you, right, where you can create the automation using natural language, it's there in the product itself. You can leverage the IDP, it's there within the product itself inbuilt, right? You can use different AI models as well. As I mentioned, through AI, you can consume a lot of Azure OpenAI AI services as well using components. So this kind of feature should be part of the product itself. Then you can start learning it as your POC projects. And this is the way forward. Once you are confident enough, you can simply say your manager or to your customer, okay, with this legacy automation, we bring this kind of latest technology as well. This will bring your cost down. It will be more useful for you. It will be more accuracy in terms of nature, and it will be a very in terms of non-human interaction required. It's going to be a super smooth automation end to end basically. So this is the way forward. It's a learning path, right? And you can go through this, and yes, definitely, eventually will be there down the line.
So she has a further question. What supporting programming languages are important to know to support TrueBot?
So first thing is a little bit of logical understanding of programming, right? Where you can create or design the process in a logical way. On top of it, if you there is a need of writing some small syntax of C sharp or VB.NET. If you wanted to do some custom uh, condition, or you want to write some custom logic, right? You can write this to different language or programming language as well.
So Jyoti, I answered your question, how to take these courses. So these two courses are available on Future Skills Prime platform. You just need to type futureskillsprime.in. And basically the last slide I'll show you I'll show it again to you. So that contains the course link, the assessment link for both the TrueBot Cockpit and TrueBot Designer. And then we have Tanipu. So now, when I talk about the course duration, so course duration is for TrueBot Cockpit, it is 2.20 hours, and TrueBot Designer, it is 4.20 hours. So both these two courses are very short in nature, and these are self-paced courses. You can do like half an hour today, 1 hour tomorrow. So as per your convenience, you can complete these two courses. They are anyhow free, but the assessment is paid. Okay. Assessment costs you 600 rupees. Then Sanjana is again asking you, will I have access to TrueBot tool to practice while learning?
Yes, so the data analytics will support free access to the tool. Right? So where you can download it by filling up a form on the website. Sika, you can share that link into the chat so that everyone can leverage it, right? And you need to give some of your details, right? And once you install it on your machine, by default it will be activated for 30 days, right? So whenever you install it, activate it for the license, you will get a 30-day trial license. And then after you need some more extension, you can write it to us, to our support team. And based on the case to cases, we may extend that license for learning purposes only.
Okay, so Mrityunjay, in case you have that link
Okay,
handy, would you
yeah,
be able to? Yes, because
I may have it. Yeah, sure.
yeah.
So I'm sharing all the core details about Robot Data Analytics LMS, how to download the software, the documentation. There is an entire documentation also for the product, right? And if you get any trouble, you can also drop us support. You can connect with the support team as well. So let me share it with all of. I hope that message has been received to everyone. Can anyone confirm?
Yes, Kalpan, it is there in the
Is
chat.
there? Yeah. Okay, sure.
Yes. I think it is only has gone to, okay, let me copy and paste
Okay,
it.
panelist. Yeah, okay. I need
Yeah,
to send it to
let me
everyone.
share it again.
Okay,
Yeah.
you can share it to everyone. Yeah.
Yes, yes. So Sanjana, I hope this answered your query. Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Sanjana. So no more questions now. I think we are over by 1 hour. In fact, 1 hour, 15 minutes.
10 minutes.
Thank you so much, participants, for joining us in. And I hope the session would be fruitful to all of you. My only humble request is to, as these courses are very short duration and based on one of the emerging technology, which is RPA. So gun for it, go for it and complete the course, which is free. And the best part is that it has a government certificate attached to it. So in case you are willing to make your career in RPA, so it's you can leverage that opportunity, and it's just 600 rupees. Go for the assessment and bang on. Thank you so very much. Thanks, Kalpan. Thanks, Pratyunjay, for joining us in today.
Thank you, Sika. Thanks.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Thanks.